Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Dave Kauffman coming to you live from my home in Sarasota. And yes, I know it's not Thursday, but it is Tuesday. And I am going live today because I will be on an airplane Thursday. And so I have a confession to make, a confession. And I hope my pastor is watching this, because I'm going to make the confession. When he was preaching Sunday, I got inspired. I don't know, it really had nothing to do with his sermon, but I got inspired to come up with the ABCs to a better life. I don't know what made me think of that, but something in his sermon made me think about I need to come up with ABCs to a better life. And so, Pastor Henry, if you're listening to this, I apologize for not paying attention to your sermon as much as me creating this. And it was like literally in 5 minutes, like it was downloaded, I believe, by the higher power, downloaded by the Holy Spirit to come up with these things. And I just like boom, 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 the ABCs to a better life. And I have only about 30 minutes before I have to jump onto a coaching call. So I'm going to go really, really fast. Joseph Yoder, Willie A. Price, what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us. And I'm going to share with you the ABCs to a better life. Okay. So number one, the A stands for abundance mindset. Let me ask you a question. Is God a God of abundance or a God of lack? Answer that question in the comments below. Raise your hand right now if you think God is a God of abundance. And so it doesn't mean that if you're a Christian that you're going to have an abundance of everything all the time. But it does mean that God is a God of abundance. It says, I came so that you can have life and that you can have it more abundantly. More abundantly. More, we're satisfied with more a lot of times, but what about more abundantly? That's like much more better. All right. So you have to have an abundance mindset. So many times we approach everything in life from a lack mindset. And so many times we look at things that I can't have that, and there's some things that we can't have. But think about this. Think about the fact that God is a God of abundance. And let me just tell you a very personal story. Soon after my dad died, about 3 months after my dad passed away, which was August 2 years ago, I was in a really dark, low place of depression, and not many people knew this, and it was right over the time that book right there, People-Centered Leadership, became Amazon bestseller. And I was on my way down to South Florida to do a TV interview about that book and about, it becoming #1 bestseller on Amazon. And I was so depressed that I was crying as I was driving down the road. I missed him so much. And I had to think about the fact that God is a God of abundance, that I have an abundance of memories of my dad. I have an abundance of material that he gave me, the mindset that he gave me. And I just simply had to repent, not from missing my dad, but from focusing on what I didn't have anymore. But I started focusing on what I have, the abundance of memories, the abundance of training and teaching and guiding and the memories especially. That's really what I started focusing on. And I'm going to tell you, within 3 days, it seemed like that cloud of depression was lifted, and I haven't been back. And so I could teach all day long on this abundance mindset, but A stands for an abundance mindset. It doesn't have to be scarcity. My mentor, Myron Golden, he says this. He says there is more than enough for everyone to have more than enough, and there will be more than enough left over. We see that in the feeding of the 5,000. God is a God of abundance. He has, and it doesn't mean, please understand me, it doesn't mean that if you're a Christian, you're going to have wealth and health. You're going to go through seasons. But I'm going to tell you what we focus on really matters. Are you focusing on the lack, Because that's not of God? Or are you focusing on the abundance? And I want to encourage us all to start focusing on the good things in life, the abundance of God, the mercy of God, the grace of God, the gift of God. Think about those things. I can't keep preaching because I got like 30 minutes before my coaching call. B stands for belief in God. If you want to have a better life, you have to reckon with the fact that there is a God and you are not it. You have to believe in God. And contrary to what people want to think, there is only one God. There is only one God. To have multiple gods defies the purpose of God. There is only one God, and you have to believe in him and seek after him and open your heart to him. And that's how you can have a better life, because I'm going to tell you, we are all under that authority. Listen, you didn't choose to be born. You don't choose to die. God is in control, and to have more than one God defies the purpose of God. C, the ABCs to a better life. C, consume good things. Now, I stepped on a scale like a week ago, and I almost cussed because I've never weighed as much as I did at that point. And it turns out that if you consume chicken wings and mashed potatoes and fried chicken, and ooh, man, that stuff is so good, that you will gain weight. Who knew? So I went on a diet. I'm already down about 6 pounds. Okay. And I'm going to keep going, and I need you guys to hold me accountable. All right. So do this, keep me accountable and keep me on this narrow path of greens and salads and things that make me go, ugh. But here's the fact of the matter. What you consume becomes a part of you. What you consume becomes a part of you. So you have to consume the good things. My friend Tom Ziglar, Zig Ziglar's son, says this, that your appetite or your diet controls your appetite. What you consume controls what you want. And I remember one other time when I went on a diet, I stopped sugar completely. And I thought it was the worst thing ever to stop sugar. But after my body started consuming non-sugar things, James Weaver, get thou behind me. It says, eat more chicken. All right. Anyway, when I stopped consuming sugar, my appetite for sugar went away. So if you start consuming what's good, pure, honest, integrity, all of these things that come from God, that's why you have to believe in a good God. You have to believe in a benevolent God, but you have to consume the good things. D stands for develop yourself. Listen, I'm starting to go to the gym. I'm starting to work out. I need to especially after COVID, I lost a lot of momentum and I'm just lethargic, and I'm starting to work out and I'm starting to get more energy. And here's the fact of the matter. You have to work on developing yourself, and you can't only do it by just saying, I want to develop myself. I want to become stronger. No, you have to consume things. You have to stretch and grow. And the other day I was on a podcast with somebody. It's going to air in about 2 months. And here's what he said. He said, you have post-stress disorder, and then you have post-stress development. Did you know that the most beautiful piece of wood is where the stress was years and years ago? Did you know that developing yourself means you might need to go through some hard times so that you can become strong? Did you know that an oak tree becomes stronger when it goes through a hurricane and it stresses itself? And that's where the beauty is. I challenge you to think of anybody that has made a huge impact on the world, and I can guarantee you're gonna think of the time that they were low and then the time that it came out. That's why I'm looking so forward to EdgeCon 2021 Overcomers Virtual Challenge. Every one of these speakers have a tremendous story of overcoming, of stress, and how they came out of. I don't even know, guys and gals, how I'm going to even be on my own stage, because literally the worst thing that ever happened to me is my lollipop fell off of the stick when I was 3. I don't have a story of like, I haven't been stretched. I'll admit it. I haven't been stretched and stressed to the point where it's a remarkable story, but every one of us go through those lows times. And that's the time that you develop yourself. Find the gift behind the challenge. That's what my mentor, Ron Klein, always says. E stands for empathize with others. Listen, if you want to have a better life, you have to start loving other people and empathizing with them and really showing people that you care. You have to empathize. That means you have a feeling of it moves you to action. Empathy moves you to action. F stands for fear versus faith. I've taught on this several times. Fear will lead to anxiety. Anxiety will lead to, and I should have pulled all this up and remembered it. Fear leads to anxiety. Anxiety leads to paralysis. That's what it was. Paralysis. And paralysis will lead you to becoming prey. Okay. It's what I called the FAP, F-A-P-P principle. Fear leads to anxiety. Anxiety leads to paralysis. When you're anxious, you're paralyzed and you can't move. And then when you're paralyzed, you become prey, P-R-E-Y. And we know what happens when you become prey. You get consumed by the enemy. Faith, on the other hand, faith creates or leads to anticipation. Like you have faith, you're believing in something, you anticipate it. Anticipation leads to what is I should have looked this up. I'm sorry. F-A-P-P leads to I'll think of it later. I'm embarrassed now. Okay, so I told you I just kind of just did this on a whim. Faith leads to anticipation, and anticipation leads to, it's not positive, it's something P, but the last one leads to power. Power. Which would you rather have, be a prey or power? So I'll think of the other one later and maybe post it in the comments with a picture of the whole diagram. Again, I didn't look it up. G stands for gratefulness. You have to be grateful. Again, it kind of goes back to the abundance mindset. It is impossible to be depressed and grateful at the same time. It's impossible. And it has to, like, you have to be grateful for everything. And so what I would encourage everyone to do is really, journal gratefulness and thank you, Greg. Perseverance. No, that's not what it is. I'm trying to remember. And Harvey says you're getting better at remembering. Thanks for holding me accountable to that. Faith, anticipation, I'm drawing a blank. This is so embarrassing. Anyway, but I will post the whole graph in there for you. Let me see. I might actually have it queued up. Let's see what I have here. Yeah, right here it is. Here we go. Okay. Faith leads to anticipation, and anticipation leads to purpose, and purpose leads to power. Okay, so I just thought about it. I had it queued up from a previous show, and so here it is. Faith leads to anticipation. Anticipation leads to purpose. Purpose leads to power. Fear leads to anxiety. Anxiety leads to paralysis, and paralysis will lead you to becoming prey. And the only way to get out of that fear line is to pray, Pray, so that you can have faith. And then so it's like a track. It's your choice. You can choose which one you want to be on. All right, so I don't know why my camera is fuzzy right now. So let's see if I can fix that. Camera. There it is. It just fixed itself. All right. So yeah, now I'm on track. I appreciate that, because that was kind of bothering me. Thanks guys for helping me try to remember that. Passion is good, productivity, perseverance, but it's purpose. All right, where were we? Gratefulness. You have to be grateful. It's impossible to be depressed. It's impossible to have a negative mindset and to be grateful. Gratefulness is the antidote to depression. And let me show you something. In Philippians, chapter 4, I have to get a bigger Bible because I can't even see. Let me put my glasses on. Philippians, it says, do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, or with gratefulness, let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace, you can't be depressed and have peace. Okay? And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, all of the politicians, all of the craziness that's going on, will surpass all of that, will guard your heart in your mind. Depression begins in the mind. Negative thoughts begin in the mind. So gratefulness and gratefulness is the antidote to depression in a lot of cases. All right. Well, y'all got me wound up. I'm really ready to go here. H, happiness. Happiness is a serious problem. It's a great book by Dennis Prager. I encourage all of you to read it. But here's the thing. We as God's people, and even, I'm just going to say this, as people, we as people are responsible to project happiness, even when we may not be at the peak level of happiness. Because here's the other side of it. Who are you to project your feelings and your bad day on others? Who are you? We have an obligation to lift each other up, and I'm telling you, if you want a better life, you have to understand abundance. You have to understand there's only one, and you have to consume the good things and work on yourself, and you have to empathize with others. You have to have fear or faith versus fear. You have to have gratefulness, and happiness is a result of that. But I want you to think about this, that you should not project your bad day. Now, I'm not saying don't be real, but I'm going to tell you, if we would take account of our worst day is 20 times better than somebody else's good day. All right, there's people all over the world that have like nothing. And I want you to understand that happiness is a derivative from gratefulness. And so that's the number one. So I encourage you to read that book by Dennis Prager. Happiness is a Serious Problem by Dennis Prager. Next one is integrity. Integrity. It's, let me go back to Philippians here. Just still in Philippians 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, Wow, that's much better. Whatever is commendable, if there's any excellent, if there's anything worthy of praise, think about these things. Now, what is one word? And I just learned this from my friend Bill Mullet. He was preaching 2 Sundays ago, and he said there's one word that sums up all of these other words, whatever is true, honorable, just, pure, lovely, commendable, excellence, worthy, praise. And it's the word integrity. Doing the right thing. And so I just, I'm getting ready to fly out to Ohio tomorrow to speak to about 600 people in a certain industry. And they wanted me to speak on integrity. So I created a whole speech for them. And I'm going through the word integrity. And I don't have time to do all of this because I see time is really moving fast. But integrity is so important, especially in business, especially in your marriage, especially in your life. Do the right thing when nobody is even looking. Do the right thing when nobody will ever find out that you did the right thing. Have integrity. Justice. All right. Now, that's a big word right now in our political world right now. But justice, like, we have to stand on truth. You cannot have justice unless you have truth. You have to have truth before there is justice. And so seek the truth, and then we can give justice. We can deal justly and be fair. That's the message that I want you to have, is to be fair in your dealings. Be just. And that you can't if you don't seek truth. So it's important. K stands for kindness. You know what? We live in a unkind world right now, and it's partly because of social media. We think we have these fake relationships, and I'll tell you, over the past several months, even I have been caught up into kind of throwing things, and I said, that's enough. We need to start coming together. Now, don't think that I'm giving up. Don't think that I'm laying down. Like, we have to be strong. We have to continue. We have to put on the full armor of God and march forward, but we can do it with kindness. We can do it with justice. And here's L. All right. So ABC's to a better life. L stands for light. Here's the truth. Light will always expose darkness. Light will always expose darkness. So shine your light. Have your flashlight of truth and shine it everywhere. Shine it. Expose darkness in your life, in your family, in your church, in other people. Expose darkness by shining the light. And you will, once you live that kind of life, and even when you turn the flashlight on yourself, you're going to be happier when you expose the darkness and get rid of it, whatever that darkness is. Have light. And M, now this is not going to make sense until I explain it. Mad. You have to be mad. In order to be happy, you have to be mad. MAD stands for make a difference. On our door, as they leave, our employees, the cleaning company, it says, be mad today. Make a difference. You have to make a difference in the lives of the people that you touch. If you want to be happy, if you want to have the highest high, you have to understand that when you can impact others and make their life better, that is the number one joy. That's what God did by sending his son down, is so that he can make an impact on our lives to make our lives better. And that gave him joy. And we have to make a difference in people's lives. On N, neglect negativity. Like get rid of negative. That goes back to the abundance mindset. I remove myself from negative-minded people. Okay? I remove myself from negativity because God is a God of abundance, not a God of lack. So I don't mean don't be realistic. Don't face the truth. You have to face the truth, but quickly pivot. Okay, this stinks. What can I do to make it smell good? Okay, so take a negative and quickly move it into the positive category column by changing your mindset and finding the gift behind the challenge. O stands for be open to new ideas. Listen, get rid of the box. Don't think inside a box. Get rid of the bush. Don't beat around the bush. Be open to new ideas. New ideas, you can't move forward in life without a new idea. Otherwise, we would still be driving horses all around town and shooting people with guns all over town and living in the Wild West. So ideas move society. Ideas move your business. Ideas move your life. Ideas move your marriage. And so be open to new ideas. Try new things. So important. I got 10 minutes left. I got to keep going. P stands for pray for others. That goes back to the empathy and caring for people. Listen, we need to pray for our country like we've never prayed before. And we need to keep praying, regardless of who is president. We have to pray for our country that God would move the hearts of the people in this country towards him. That is the only way we can have change, is when we move our hearts toward God. So let's pray. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, if we all pray that our hearts will be turned towards God, you know what? We have a better country. Q stands for quit bad habits. If you want to change your life, you have to stop doing what you're doing. If you want a better life, you have to try new things. That's why open to new ideas. Stop doing the things that don't get the result that you want. I don't know what your habits are. I don't know. My habits are chicken wings. I love chicken wings. And guys, it shows. But I haven't had a chicken wing in over 2 weeks. And I'm probably not going to have one for a long, long time until I get to my goal weight. And I'm going to celebrate with chicken wings. I know it's crazy, but we have to quit bad habits if we want to have a different outcome. R, respect authority. Now that's something that is hugely missing in our society today. Okay, so authority are boundaries. I'm going to tell you, it is impossible to love without boundaries. It is impossible to love without having some kind of authority in your life. We have to understand boundaries are important for us to have a better life. If we just let go of all boundaries, there is no security. Kids want boundaries. Kids want security. Kids want authority. That's why they act out, is because they're saying, how far can I go? I want to know what my limit is. That's why they act out. We got to understand that as societies and politicians, as people, as Democrats, as Republicans, we have to understand that we have to have boundaries in order to be happy and to have a better life. S, say you're sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's one of the most powerful statements that you can make. I'm sorry. It's one of the most humble acts that you can do, is to apologize if you're wrong. Say you're sorry more. You'll be happier. You will feel freer when you apologize for things that you know that you were wrong in. T stands for tell the truth all the time. Goes back to integrity. Tell the truth all the time, even when it costs you. Even when you don't win. Tell the truth. Be a seeker of truth. And if you want truth, I'm going to tell you, it's right here in the Word of God. Truth. Tell the truth. Even if it hurts you, even if it kills you, tell the truth. U stands for unconditional love. Unconditional love. Listen, we have got to come together as a people. as a country, as Democrats and Republicans, and we have to understand that we need to love each other even if we don't agree. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean that we can't love each other. Just because we have a D or an R behind our name doesn't mean we can't love each other. We have to understand that we need to focus more on truth, and that truth will bring us together. Success will bring us together, and love will bring us together. And I'm not saying that we have to both lay down what we believe, but we have to passionately and kindly debate each other. Listen, I know there's things that the Democrats can learn from Republicans, and I know that there's things that Republicans can learn from the Democrats that are both good. But we have to learn to come together, and we have to learn to tell the truth and have unconditional love for each other as Americans, husband and wives, family members, all of this. We have to have love. Speak softly, carry a big stick. V, and this is a stretch, but this is the thing that I thought of. Visit older people. If you want to have a better life, I'm going to tell you, you need to visit older people. You need to understand where they came from and where we're headed. And I'm going to tell you, that is so important. That is so important that we visit older people. You can learn a lot. You can glean from their experience. You can glean from their knowledge. They can mentor you. And if you want to have a better life, you have to have a mentor. And older people are great mentors. Visit them. W, wonder about things. Don't be like closed, like wonder. Like, I wonder what would happen if. I wonder what would happen if I said this, or I wonder what would happen if I created this company. I wonder. God gave us an imagination so that we can move forward. So wonder about things. X, now you're probably thinking, what in the world am I going to come up with? And I didn't even know this word. I had to search it as I was sitting in church. Sorry, Pastor. Xenomania. 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 And that word means, xenomania means the pleasure of meeting strangers. I love meeting new people. New people are new opportunities. New people are new ideas. New people are new clients. New people are new friendships. New people I love. I'm a xenomania. And I want you to be too, because you'll be better. You'll be more happy if you meet people, strangers. Why is you are not that important? Sorry. Just burst your bubble, but you are not that important. And here's what I want you to understand. You need to be interested, not interesting. When you meet strangers, be interested in them instead of interesting to them. It's about other people. It's not about you. You are not that important. Some of us have to work on that. Z, I want you to have a zest for life. A zest means fizz, pop. It's like, you get it? I want you to have this desire for a better life. God said, I came that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. I want you to have a zest for life. I want you to go get it. I want you to want it. I want you to want a better life. And I just gave you the ABCs, 26 tips on how to have a better life. I got to jump off and jump onto another call. And so this is me telling you goodbye. Hope you enjoy it. Please share this video if you enjoyed it. Even if you didn't enjoy it, share this video as much as possible. Thanks, guys. Love every one of you. Bye-bye.